And welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in the Long Dark, where we stepped into this cabin here, both to put a save in for the part. I'm doing quick inventory triage before we get to walking again. So we're a little overweight, but that's due to the number of torches, and we're gonna, if we continue the torch struggle like we are, we're gonna go through them slowly as we walk our zone here. I do have some cooked coffee, so if I'm desperate for some more fatigue, we could drink that. Or if we get an opportunity where I want to warm up, we can make some rosehip pie for the sugar boost fatigue bonus. And apparently, with our fully repaired blows, even here on Interloper, we're actually warm. I don't necessarily know if we'd be warm in all the biomes. I know some of the biomes are a little bit colder than others. Like, I think Desolation, not Desolation, but Bleak Inlet, I think, would probably have us be a little bit cold in this situation. Because I feel like it's like 2 or 3 degrees colder than Mountain Town, and, or Mystery Lake, Mountain Town, and such. But yeah, with our current clothes, we are warm. Which means other than the fatigue problem, we can basically go until the weather changes. There's nothing slowing us down. We'll follow the railroad tracks a little bit faster than going up and down and around all the trees. Cost stuff, we won't get as much birch bark, but if the concern is fatigue, that works out fine. So yeah, I'm hoping in this part we'll at least get as far as the maintenance shed in Broken Railway. And then that'll leave the next part for going into the unknown. It was getting sunnier, which is often bad, because it often means colder weather. Though we're not cold yet, so if it gets cold enough to be like -2, or -1, -2 for us, that's not great, but that's not particularly bad for Interloper, so I don't complain too much. Surprised that wolf hasn't noticed us. It's going to the moment it turns around. Oh, there it goes. It noticed us. Didn't appreciate us and ran away, but it noticed us. Oh, I've been down here to search this. Nothing in it. This was probably mapped by the Polaroid location, so we probably didn't actually come down here at this point. So a book that I don't really care about. Oh no, we have been down here, so we would know. So I just missed a backpack that had nothing in it. so I do want to stop by Trappers. We're still going to do pick up a couple jars of pickles. And yeah, probably leave some of the jerky behind to compensate for the weight change. The pickles aren't particularly great from a calorie to kilogram standpoint, but they are worth vitamin C, so mainly bringing them along for the vitamin C. So this will also be a detour for food, because I know I've got a little bit of food over at Trappers. I don't remember if we got any out in Broken Railway. We didn't kill the bear, so I don't remember how close we got the food to maintenance shed. That's probably possible, but I'm trying to decide how I'm going to cut across to Trappers. I think as soon as we get around this bit of rockage on right here, we're going to take the cut. Normally I'd run a little bit longer along the track and then down the map edge. Not doing that because we're going to kind of do that on the way out from Trappers, so be going over the same ground twice, which for looting useful renewables is usually not a great thing to do. It's one of the reasons why a lot of my early stalker content is basically walking loops. Is you want to give time for the things like sticks and stuff like that to regenerate before you come right back over the exact same territory. Tempted to pick up sticks, but I know we don't need them right now. And it's just going to slow us down if we pick them up. So we're going to focus on walking through. And mainly on keeping our eye on the swivel for renewable, valuable loot like... well, there isn't really going to be a merge park along this route, but let's see if there's any merge park out, or listen to see if we hear a deer kill being killed by a wolf or something. Just in the way I'm going to pick it up. Can't resist the urge to pick up the sticks. To be fair, we're not that overweight. We'd be at like ideal weight if we weren't fatigued. Yeah, I don't think this bear over here is active in this interloper run. But this cave right here can sometimes be an active bear spawn, in which case you have a bear near Trappers for you to hunt. And the one near Trappers is actually pretty nice for hunting. I just didn't get that lucky. Yeah, that cave right there. So if you see bones in that cave, then this bear spawn is active. I have no bones, so this is not an active bear spawn. So if we needed meat, we got some deer here we can hunt. We don't really need the meat, so we're not gonna hunt the deer. And oh, I was about to say, apparently I didn't leave any meat. Apparently we left one piece of meat, which is something we're gonna eat right now. Yeah. So we came here for a jar or two of pickles. That's pretty much it. All we came here for is the pickles. Torch swap. Then I have to decide if I want to leave anything behind. Save on some weight. I think it will make sense to leave like a kilogram. Yeah, let's leave a kilogram of cured meat behind. It's not going to get us light enough because we're fatigued, but well, it's getting us light enough that if we weren't fatigued, we wouldn't be taking any speed penalties, which is kind of where we want to be. Next stop, the derailment, also known as Poacher's Camp on Muskeg. This bit between here and the railroad tracks is a place that occasionally has a piece or two of birch bark, so we're going to keep the head on the swivel, see if we can pick up those two pieces of birch bark. As you can see, the occasional birch bark tree, well, occasional birch tree, yes, the tree that the birch bark comes from is occasionally in a couple pieces along here, so in the spawn table for this area is birch bark. The bark of the birch tree. Well, don't think I'm getting lucky with the birch bark. There's one piece. I just walked past the one piece. No, wait. Maybe. That's a torch. Keep my head on the swivel. I think I saw a peach and then lost the piece. Could have sworn there was a piece. That's a torch, that's a torch. Oops. I may have just lost that. Yeah, lost that torch. And lost ignition. Okay, so we're gonna just walk without any fire. Too distracted by trying to find bridge work. And yeah, I think that's probably the distance between being warm and cold. Yeah, -1 degree. Don't got the birch bark. There's a piece of birch bark. Because we are coming up on dusk, so I'm going to be trying to cross all Forlin Muskeg into the derailment area, or all of Forlin Muskeg in one early night, hopefully. We'll see if the weather holds. So from here to, well, it's supposed to agree where the rails can go all the way down to the maintenance shed. We're basically going to follow the rails all the way down to the maintenance shed at this point. So it's, unless you're not careful, it's really hard to get lost doing what we're about to do. Not impossible, but hard. The next stop location is going to be the derailment. We're probably not going to stop for very long there. Probably just ducking in to see if we're warm in the car without starting a fire. And then taking a sip of water one way or the other before heading back out again. The weather goes terrible, and it could between here and the derailment. That'll be where we stop to warm up and contemplate whether or not we want to push through to the maintenance shed or not at that point, because the derailment's probably the safest place if we need to take a detour up to warm lodging between here and the derailment. Or, not the derailment, the maintenance shed. So we'll just camp here in the derailment up ahead. But it does look like the weather is not going to turn bad at this rate. It may turn bad somewhere between the maintenance shed and the derailment here, so I'm not going to assume that it's not going to go bad, but I think we're at least going to make the decision that it is onward to the maintenance shed.
If I don't rest soon, I'm gonna faint.
He says that, but he's very wrong.
It's dusk, so night can't be far behind.
So I'm pretty sure at dusk... Well, this doesn't look particularly sunny anyway. I'm pretty sure at dusk it is too dark to start fire off of the sun. Drink a bit of water. I think we take one of the small ones here, and we'll get another half a liter. Just be below 2 liters, and that's probably good traveling water. So off we go. Following the rails, unless something goes wrong. We should be able to get through all of Forlin Muskeg, hopefully before the weather goes bad. It is going to get colder as we go. Not that we're too worried about taking cold damage. We're going to get like 40-something condition back when we take the long rest at the maintenance shed. So we can take a little bit of condition damage if we need to get there. As long as it's not like a wolf or something. It's safe. It is definitely early night. And early night is, of course, the warmest part of the night. Using the mic moment there to drink left of my tea. So the next part break will probably be a tea break. We're going to go get a cup of tea. I think we're making pretty good time here. If we were desperate for more emergency food, we could stop to get some cattail stalks to eat along the way, but we're good on food. At least good on food that we want to bring with us. Might change my mind once we're in the realm of the unknown. But the realm of the gnome, I think we got a little bit of food at the maintenance shed. I don't want to necessarily stop and slow us down before we get there. I want to get there before we run out of fatigue and are really slow walking. And we can see that the early night here is cold enough that we are not warming up in the wind shelter. Game brings in some music. That may have been the dusk to nighttime transition with the music change there. Nice, slow, quiet walk to our destination. Making quite a bit of distance progress. Just walking like this. Here is the transition over to Broken Railway. A little bit more likely I will have to spend a match to get our torch back. Or torch lit at some point in here and just get past some moles. But we're not going to need to do that at least until we hear the wolves. Okay, so here we have the landslide. As I probably should the last time we were through here, there is a way to sort of billy goat up and over the landslide from either side. Will save us a little bit of time going around. You know, the character hasn't complained about being cold, so I have a feeling that a lot of the cold complaints the character gives you are warnings on how quickly you're going to end up cold. Because honestly, we're not going to end up cold anytime soon. We are cold, but we're not going to end up cold anytime soon. So he's not complaining about it, even though there's definitely times where he'll be complaining about being cold, and we're nowhere near this close to being cold, because we're going to be cold sooner. Because of the rate of change.
I'd lay down right here if I thought I'd ever wake up again.
Yeah, our character's a little tired. So at this point, instead of taking condition damage to cold, we're going to take it to fatigue. Did spook the first wolf. It's probably indication that it's time to get the torch ready. Oh, no, we want to quality torch on that, please.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
Okay, we're getting the first complaints about the cold. Probably indication that we are approaching within like next 5 to 10 minutes actually being cold, which makes sense. We are pretty close to there. If we can, I'm going to try not using the match, but I suspect we'll probably need fire to safely get into the maintenance shed. Most of the wolves that tend to hang out around the maintenance shed tend to hang out around this side of the maintenance shed. And obviously, we're at the point where we're not going to be sprinting. We're run out of fatigue, so sprinting is no longer an option. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to take a little bit of cold damage, but that's fine. Again, we're gonna sleep for 10 hours, and we'll recover a bunch of condition doing that. So. Don't hear any wolves. I don't see any wolves. This may just be a casual walk over to the maintenance shed.
Cold to think.
Okay, we're warming up, so we're not taking any more cold damage. Gonna light the lantern. We're gonna pass through the maintenance shed. I think if I have any meat here to eat, it'll be out the other side. So we'll check up on that and eat that meat first. Before we give the character the long sleep. The 10-hour snooze. Did I have any meat? Suppose we had one piece of meat. Okay. Well, one piece of meat's more than no pieces of meat. Oh, one mostly empty piece of meat. Okay, that was a little bit disappointing. I was hoping for a little bit more meat than that. But I have what I have. Okay, so this is the bed we're gonna have the character sleep in. We probably do want to get some calories back before we put him to sleep. Okay, looks like decent calories back, so we'll hydrate up. And we'll use this long rest, 10-hour rest here as a good save point. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow, because we are going to record more parts in this recording session. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. After a short break, we're going to get back to recording. So with that, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time until the next part. Until then, bye for now.